What's going on, guys? I'm Nick. Most of you guys know me as GuitarMageddonZL1, and this is 717 Rewind.
Where did you think you would be a year ago?
If you would have told me a year ago that I would be where I am now, I wouldn't have believed it at all. A lot has happened in the past year. Obviously, I got my new ZL1 was one of the big moments of 2017, and it was a goal that I had achieved. And YouTube and everything like that made that possible, which is awesome, and I'm very thankful for that. As far as having the amount of subscribers and following that I have, there are a couple things that helped me along the way that I didn't think was ever going to happen. Looking back a year ago, I would not have expected to be where I am today.
What were the most significant 3 car-related things that happened to you in 2017?
So 3 major things happened to me this year, and one of those would obviously be getting the 2017 ZL1. It was a long time goal of mine. Ever since I started my YouTube channel, it was the very first vlog I ever did, was purchasing one of these cars and reviewing it and everything like that. And I actually was able to make that happen in a little bit more than a year, which was real awesome. So this is one of the biggest things that's happened to me, is just getting this car and being able to have it in my garage. Another cool thing that happened was I was able to buy a truck, and this is something that I didn't think I was going to do. I was never really a truck guy, but I eventually got the truck, and now I'm really into it and I love it, and I love the fact that I bought it. So that's another pretty big thing that happened to me this year, an unexpected thing that happened to me. There really wasn't a goal or planned out or anything like that. And I guess the third thing would probably be the fact that I was able to build the 2013 to be what it was in a short amount of time. I had plans with that car that were way different than what had happened to it. When I first bought the car, I didn't really want to do anything to it. And that obviously changed quickly when I started doing different modifications of the car. You know, you get that mod itch where you just want to continue modding anything and just keep putting money into your car, and that's kind of what happened with the 2013. But I'm glad I did, because I was able to bring you guys with me on the journey throughout the past year in building that car.
What were 2 of the most significant non-car related things that happened to you in 2017?
So a couple things that happened throughout this past year that really aren't car related are the fact that I was able to achieve 100,000 subscribers and get my silver play button on YouTube. That's one of the biggest things any YouTuber can achieve, really, off the bat. That's the first big goal that you want to do, is obviously get that 100,000 subscriber and get that silver play button. And I was able to do that in a very short amount of time, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that, and I owe it all to you guys. And the other thing about it too is the fact that I was able to meet so many different people throughout this entire year, going to car shows, cars and coffee, racing events, everything, even just online and talking to you guys through Instagram or whatever it may be, YouTube. Just I met so many different people, and I think that's another big thing that's really not car related or has nothing to do with my car. It's just meeting everybody and learning all about you guys.
What were your favorite 3 events of this year?
You know, being a car guy, I love going to different events and everything like that, whether it be car shows, cars and coffee, or even racing events. And some of the coolest shows that I've been to this year, and the most memorable really, are Motorama. That's one of them, and that's one of the biggest events in the off season. And by off season, I mean like February and the colder months, and they have thousands and thousands of people in a complex in Harrisburg, and it's basically tons of cars, any different type, make and model, it doesn't even matter. And we were able to set up there, and I was able to meet so many different people and show my car, and it was just an awesome event. You know, it was one of those things where you didn't have to worry about doing anything, you just kind of sat back, stood there, and met everybody, and that in itself was enough to make it awesome. Some other events that I went to, some benefit events. I always like doing those because it's always nice to give back to the community. And a big one is Supercars on State Street. That's local to me. It's a huge supercar gathering on State Street in Harrisburg, and it at the time it benefited breast cancer, and then this one was MS. So every year I think it changes, and it's a different benefit for each year. So I enjoyed it because you got to see supercars that you would not normally see. Anything from Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, they're all there for one day, and they're all there for the same thing, and that's whatever the event benefits. And the biggest thing really this year was actually an event that I helped organize, and it was the YouTube call out, and we did 2 events, so this is kind of like a 2-for-1, but you know, that was probably my favorite thing. Not only because, you know, obviously we organized it, but just the sole fact that it was a racing event, which I love doing, and we met everybody, and it was just a really, really fun time. So we'll definitely be doing some more of those next year, but I'd say that was the highlight of my car shows and events that I've been to this year.
And the last thing about 2017 is, what is one thing that you don't think you'll ever forget about this year?
So one thing that I'll always remember about 2017 is the fact that I was able to take a passion and take a dream and really just make it my reality. Ever since I was a kid, I always had a passion for cars, and YouTube has allowed me to make dreams like that a reality for myself. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me, and definitely the biggest thing that's happened in 2017. This year was definitely a year to remember.
All right, then on to next year. What would you say are your 2 biggest plans for 2018?
So some of my biggest goals for this year are basically, I want to get to the point where I eventually don't need to work a day job. Some guys may not know this, but I do still work a regular full-time job. And I eventually want to get to the point where I don't need a day job. I can concentrate fully and put all of my work and effort into YouTube and everything that I do automotively. Is that a word? Automotively? Automotively.
You're a smart one.
And I may have just made that word up, but we'll just go with it. Another big thing too is the events that I'll be helping plan this year, the YouTube call-out events. We want to take it bigger and further, and we want to kind of do a little tour this year. So that's one of the things that I'm really, really looking forward to, and hopefully, you know, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it'll be just as big as some of the events out there that have been going on for 10 years.
And the last question is, where do you think you'll be in 1 year as a person, car enthusiast, and YouTuber?
And if all goes well, in a year from now, hopefully I will be able to concentrate and do YouTube full-time, meaning I won't have a day job. Another big goal this year will be just to get involved with more companies and do work with other, you know, big companies, whether it be a brand like Chevy or even a small parts company. It doesn't really matter. I also have certain goals with some of my cars as far as like the 2013 goes. I like to be able to run a certain ET in the quarter mile, and those are some of the goals that I have. Obviously there's some goals with my 2017 ZL1 that I have for this year as well. So not only do I have personal goals and where I see myself in a year, but I also have goals for my cars and where I see them in a year as well too. So this year has been awesome. I've achieved so many of my goals, and I've met so many different people. 2017 is definitely one for the books, and I really can't wait to see what 2018 brings me.
All right, well, thank you very much for letting me talk to you.
No problem,
shake your hand here.
For sure.
I will see you at the next call-outer.
Yeah.
Motorama.
Motorama, yeah. Motorama, February, I don't know the date, actually, mid-February, something like that,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, looking forward to the video.
Stop fussing, stop guessing, it's me and I'm pressing, you silly, but I'm
What are you doing?